Hi, everyone, and welcome to Orchard Village's annual Health and Safety Policy and Procedure Review that is required each year. After this training, you will need to complete a quiz to satisfy this training requirement. Before we get started, here are the 3 objectives for this presentation. First, we will learn to identify, prevent, and/or minimize risk for staff and clients. Next, we will learn how to respond in emergency situations. And lastly, we will learn how to appropriately report emergency and critical incidents. Orchard Village values the health and safety of all of our clients, staff, and other stakeholders. We strive to keep everyone safe and healthy. Maintenance regularly monitors and maintains the safety of our 19 buildings by keeping the homes and vehicles up to date with regular checks. However, Orchard Village relies on staff to report any safety issues, items that may need repair, issues that appear unsafe, and so on. Even a light bulb that is burned out is an important issue to be reported. So let your supervisor know of any problems in your work area. Always pay attention to your surroundings because we want to keep a high standard of safety. Today we will be looking closer at a variety of critical incidents. Critical incidents are events outside the normal experience that pose actual or perceived threats of injury or exposure to death that can overwhelm both an individual's and organization's coping resources. Examples of critical incidents are fires, injuries, violent or threatening behavior, falls, and weather, just to name a few. A critical incident is anything out of the ordinary. These are the emergency procedures that we will be reviewing during this training session: fires, natural disasters, medical emergencies, utility failures, violent or threatening situations, and bomb threats. The first topic is fire safety, which is something to take seriously in order to keep everybody safe. So we will now go through the correct fire safety procedures. It is important to know where the fire alarms are in your building. Do you know where yours are located? They are typically near doors so that you can pull the alarm as you are exiting. In the main office building, there are 4 fire alarms, one in the vestibule entrance area, one on the program side on the back wall, one in the kitchen, and one in the large conference room. After pulling the fire alarm, the fire department is directly notified because our fire alarms are connected to their emergency system. After pulling the alarm, it is important for all staff, clients, and visitors to leave the building through the closest exit, which are located next to the fire alarm, and to close doors behind you to prevent the fire from spreading. It is important for everyone to stay calm and follow these procedures. So, once you leave the building, where exactly should you go? If you are on campus, you should go to the grass area between Innovations and Orchard Academy. And if you are at one of the CILAs, you should go to the designated area on the evacuation route. The evacuation route is posted at each of the homes, so please make sure you know where those are, and if you are unsure, ask your supervisor. After meeting in the designated area, make sure that all of the people that you are responsible for are present. Staff are responsible for the clients in their care at that time. If you work in a CILA, you should make sure that all of the clients are in the designated area. If you work in the school or Innovations, you need to make sure all of the students and attendees are congregating in the correct area. So when you evacuate, make sure that they are all present, safe, and accounted for. Supervisors are responsible for making sure their staff are safe. If anyone is unaccounted for at the office, tell Marlene or another senior staff. And if anyone is unaccounted for at the CILA, tell the lead firefighter at the scene. Always make sure someone is looking after your clients if you are not there or not able to stay with your clients at that time. Fire alarms and drills can be scary for some of our clients, so stay calm and follow procedures to maintain safety and decrease any anxiety. So how long should you wait at these designated areas? You should wait until the fire department tells you that it's safe and all clear. All of the Orchard Village buildings have fire extinguishers. In the homes, they are located near the kitchen. In the main building, there is also one in the kitchen, as well as near the large conference room and on the program side of the building. They are purposely spread out so that they are easily accessible. Every staff should be aware of where the fire extinguishers are at their work site. Everyone should also know how to use the fire extinguisher. There is an acronym to remember. PASS, PASS, and each letter stands for how you should use the fire extinguisher. First, the P is for pull, and it means to pull the pin. A is for aim, which means to aim at the base of the fire about 6 feet away. The S is for squeeze, which means to squeeze the handle. And the last S is for sweep, which means to aim at the fire extinguisher and sweep from side to side of the fire. Now that we reviewed fire safety procedures, we will move on to natural disasters. In the Chicago area, there are many weather-related situations that we need to be aware of and know what to do in those circumstances. Snowstorms, floods, extreme temperatures are 3 situations where procedures may need to be followed. The president and CEO may direct the office staff to stay home, or staff will be sent home. Staff may be advised to keep clients home, and day programs may be closed. Make sure your work area has a working flashlight and batteries. If you need this, please let your manager know prior to needing it. There may be times when you may be instructed to evacuate the home or work area. At Orchard Village, we use the activity center on campus as a temporary shelter. A tornado can be very frightening. Knowing what to do can give you the confidence to handle the situation in a safe and appropriate manner. If you are in the office building during a tornado, staff can stay safe by congregating in the hallways near the bathrooms. If you are in a Scylla, staff should gather the clients and move them to an area in the home away from windows. If the home has a basement, this is the best place to be. Find the area in your workplace to stay in case of a tornado, and don't forget to bring the flashlights just in case of a power outage. Another area of safety concern is if there is an incident of a utility failure. This could be an electrical outage, a gas leak, water, or flooding issues. This is a bed bug, and this is a bed bug bite. Bed bugs are not our friends. No one likes to find bed bugs in any location. These pesky little bugs can be a real nightmare. They lay thousands of eggs and multiply rapidly. It is up to us as staff to be very observant. Check beds daily. All beds should have a bed bug mattress protector. If someone does not have one, contact your supervisor. Check clients to make sure they have not been bitten. Remember, open your eyes, be alert, be aware, and be observant. If you see any bugs or rodents, contact your supervisor right away. They will call maintenance. Maintenance will check the home to confirm the existence of the bugs, and so on. And then they will get in touch with the exterminator. In some cases, all items will need to be packed up in airtight containers, washed, and dried on high heat. Your supervisor will instruct you on the next steps. Yes, we are first responders. We are the ones who are there when the emergency or incident occurs. If there is a minor injury, such as a small cut, staff can administer first aid. In the event of a more serious injury or illness, call 911. At Orchard Village, everyone is certified in CPR, AED, and first aid. Staff must be recertified every 2 years. The protocols that you learn in the CPR and first aid trainings are invaluable if you find yourself in a situation where these skills are needed. Each home and Orchard Village building has a first aid kit. Staff should check the first aid kit regularly to make sure everything you need is in the kit. If you are missing items, please let your manager or coordinator know. There are AEDs in the 4 buildings on campus: the office, Orchard Academy, Innovations, and the Activity Center. Take time to know where the first aid kits and the AEDs are located. Here are some of our CPR heroes. Thanks to all of you for your service. There are no finer heroes anywhere. Facilas are now equipped with Station MD. Staff can call the phone number located on the Station MD apparatus, and a navigator will assist the staff in getting set up for the doctor visit. The doctors on Station MD are emergency doctors with vast experience working with people with disabilities. This is a new and wonderful system that will assist staff with many health issues. We will now move on to the universal precautions. This is the protocol to protect ourselves from bloodborne pathogens. We have become more aware of this due to the COVID pandemic and have been practicing protecting ourselves more than before. Universal precautions are a standard set of guidelines to prevent the transmission of bloodborne pathogens from exposure to blood and other potentially infectious materials. Some things that we can do are wash our hands for 20 seconds, wear gloves and take our gloves off properly, as we've learned in our first aid training, wear protective clothing when needed, wear our eye and mask protection when needed, as we've all become experts in due to COVID, dispose of waste in properly marked containers, clean up spills and messes using the designated procedures as soon as possible, use required daily housekeeping procedures, use precautions when handling contaminated or soiled linens, and placing intact needles or syringe units and sharps in designated disposal containers. And as always, do not break or bend needles. Unfortunately, in this day and age, violent or threatening situations are occurring more often than previously and are a real concern, so we need to be prepared and know what to do if we find ourselves in one of those situations. If you find yourself in a dangerous or violent situation, call 911. We want to emphasize that the safety of you and the clients is our top priority. One of the most common violent or threatening situations is an active shooter. In any dangerous scenario, you should run and escape if possible. If you cannot evacuate the building, then you should hide under a desk, behind furniture or a door, or anywhere to not find yourself out in the open and vulnerable. If neither evacuating or hiding is possible, fighting is a last resort, only if you feel comfortable doing so. That would be your own personal decision. A lot of people have been hurt or killed trying to de-escalate a violent situation, so again, do so only as a last resort and only if you feel confident and comfortable doing so. If you find yourself in a situation where someone is threatening to do something in the future, inform an administrator or supervisor. Again, always call 911 if you or the clients feel unsafe or threatened, and if you are unsure when this event would take place. Let's take a moment to remember those who have lost their lives to violence. If you receive a bomb threat call, remain calm, listen politely, and do not hang up the phone. If possible, notify someone via text, email, from another phone, etc. If you receive a suspicious package, which may mean that it has no return address, has excessive postage, has a weird smell, is making sounds, do not touch it or move the package. Instead, notify your supervisor and call 911. Workplace violence is also something we need to address because it does happen. So, what constitutes workplace violence? Bullying, intimidation, sexual harassment, disruptive behavior, assaultive behavior, and possession and use of a weapon. We have all taken and are required to take the State of Illinois anti-harassment training to show us how to handle these situations. If you experience, witness, or suspect workplace violence, threatening behaviors, or any form of harassment, notify your supervisor and human resources. Please know that your confidentiality will be respected. If you feel threatened and you also feel comfortable communicating with the other person, feel free to do so. For less serious threats, notify your supervisor and/or human resources so that they can help mediate the situation. If the threat is serious or you feel that you are in immediate danger, evacuate the area and call 911 and then notify your supervisor. Now moving on to abuse, neglect, and exploitation reporting for the people we serve. This is a very important area to address. Everyone has taken OIG Rule 50 training, which talks about how to identify abuse, neglect, and exploitation. This presentation talks specifically about the procedures Orchard Village has in place for reporting abuse and neglect. So, if we witness or suspect abuse, neglect, or exploitation, we must immediately report it within 3 hours from discovery, because the state of Illinois requires us to report any suspicion of abuse or neglect within 4 hours. This allows your supervisor and Lindsay time to gather more information on the allegation to better be able to report it to the state of Illinois. So, in this situation, please report it directly to your supervisor and/or report to the Orchard Village Abuse and Neglect cell phone. This number is on the phone list and should be saved in everyone's phone in case of an emergency. This number is a direct number to Lindsay, who is Orchard Village's designated reporter, and this number is reachable 24 hours a day. So, even if confronted with any suspicion of abuse and neglect in the middle of the night, please call. These are our abuse, neglect, and exploitation signs that we have all around our agency buildings. On the left side of the slide, you will see that if the perpetrator is employed by Orchard Village or another agency, it gets reported directly to the Office of Inspector General. So you would notify Lindsay, and she would then report it to the Inspector General. But anyone can directly call this office if they feel more comfortable doing so. As you can see on the right side of the slide, the Adult Protective Services is who we will call if the abuse, neglect, or exploitation is done by a family member or friend, which may be seen in home-based services or innovations. In any of the above situations, you can directly call the Office of Inspector General and Adult Protective Services, but we strongly encourage you to notify the Orchard Village Abuse and Neglect phone line first, because then we can take immediate action to protect our clients, whereas action may be delayed if only those other agencies are contacted, and meanwhile, clients may be experiencing continued abuse and neglect. When making a report, you need to speak to a live person rather than leaving a message. If unable to reach someone through the abuse and neglect phone number, contact your supervisor or an Orchard Village director and continue calling until you speak with someone live. All of them are critical incidents and need to be reported to your supervisors. Any client incident, whether critical or non-critical, should be reported to your supervisor because it may indicate that something else is going on. Staff-related incidents, such as a car accident or getting injured at work, requires that staff fill out a paper incident report form and turn it into their supervisor. They are available in all Orchard Village buildings. If you need one, ask your supervisor and they will print one for you. If there is a client-related incident, they are recorded in THERA as a General Event Report, GER. Documentation. We cannot stress this enough. Always document any occurrence of any incident. Complete it in a timely and accurate manner. Use objective language. State the facts of the incident. This is not the place for any opinions. Your documentation is crucial. It will help in seeing patterns of behavior or any issues that arise. Documentation is important because it helps ensure quality care, accountability, and communication. It also helps identify the trends and challenges in a client's life. This is vital to ensure that the individual is supported appropriately to maintain their ongoing safety. A popular saying is, if you did not document it, it did not happen. Say it out loud to yourself right now. We'll pause. All right, say it with me one more time. If you did not document it, it did not happen. This concludes our annual safety training. Thank you for being a vital part of the Orchard Village team. Remember to be observant and aware of your surroundings, use your skills as a first responder, and you know the most important one. Say it with me. If you didn't document it, it didn't happen. So let's make it happen.